Today's video is kindly sponsored by jerseyfifa.com, the website you need to head to right away to get yourself the latest high quality football shirts at an extremely affordable price. And what's even better than that, you can use code JerseyFIFA at checkout to get 10% off your order. The link will be in the description, but again I just want to say a massive thank you to Jersey FIFA for sponsoring the video. Hey guys, I hope you're all well. Welcome back to the AJ Analysis channel, where today I'll be doing analysis of last night's massive Champions League semi-final clash between Manchester City and Real Madrid at the Etihad. When we look at the two lineups, we can see that there were a few changes, with Manchester City forced to change at right back, whilst Rodrigo came into the team for Real Madrid. So time to get into the analysis, and we'll start with the home side. And when they had possession in their own third, the two centre backs regularly looked to split a lot wider to receive the ball out from the back. We can see the wide positioning of the centre backs here, and what it done was create a wider angle for Ederson to play out, which as a result just made it a lot easier to try and play the ball out through the press. We all know that this is what City like to do because they do it pretty much every game, although to be honest they were nowhere near as clean in possession as what we would usually expect, which we'll see shortly. Because, surprisingly, one of the players who actually really struggled to play out from the back was Ederson, and his passing was below par, and these mistakes led to some half decent chances for Madrid. This time it was Stones that was caught in possession, as Vinicius put him under pressure to win the ball back, and we can see that it allowed Madrid to get into some quite threatening positions in and around the Manchester City box. To give the benefit of the doubt to Stones, he was playing out of position at right back, and he wasn't the only one making these errors, and it was very un-Manchester City-like to surrender possession so easily. Despite this, there were still plenty of opportunities when City did play through the press to build possession in the middle third, from where they often looked to try and dominate the ball, starting in a 2-3 shape. We can see this 2-3 shape here with the two fullbacks tucking into these really narrow positions alongside Rodri, and as we'd expect, this provided the platform for Manchester City to really dominate possession of the game. And I must say that at the heart of the whole team, Rodri was absolutely brilliant, and in a big midfield battle, he done an excellent job of providing control in the centre of the park, allowing City to dominate. There were also situations when Rodri was given extra support as well, with Bernardo Silva regularly dropping deeper to form a double pivot alongside Rodri before then looking to move the ball further forward. Bernardo Silva spent large periods of the game dropping into this deeper position at the heart of the midfield, from where he was able to get the ball before then looking to turn and progress the play further forward up the pitch. Again, it just highlights the incredible versatility of Bernardo Silva, and his ability to play in different roles in the team really has been of huge value to Manchester City this season, and again he was brilliant. As I said, Manchester City were able to progress the ball from here quite effortlessly, with Mahrez really holding the width for the attack on the right hand side, making him quite an easy passing option in this wide area. Again, this has been a theme of Manchester City's play in recent weeks, and as I said, it meant that he was always an easy passing option, which allowed him to receive the pass before then looking to cut inside to create. The pure technical quality of this man really is incredible, and his early cross into the box for De Bruyne was near perfect, although at times his decision making and end product wasn't quite as good as we'd expect. We actually saw a similar pattern over on the other side of the pitch as well, with Foden again looking to hug the touchline to provide the width. And as I said, it created another easy passing lane for City to progress the play. Foden really has been making this position his own over the past couple of months, keeping the likes of Sterling and Grealish out of the team, and being left footed, it makes it a lot easier for him to provide the width in the final third. Although actually, as with Mahrez, there were a few occasions when Foden's touch and end product wasn't quite up to the usual standard that he sets, although he did still get himself an important goal. Having progressed the play in these wide areas, City then looked to cycle the ball backwards towards the on-running midfielders, with De Bruyne in particular really making an effort to push into these advanced areas. De Bruyne was absolutely brilliant right from the start of the game, and dropping into this wider channel allowed him to show his quality, picking out passes for those in the centre whilst also switching the play effectively. I will come back to De Bruyne in a few seconds time, but firstly, in this wider area he was incredible, really showcasing his vision and passing ability with 3 key passes in towards his teammates. City's main threat continued down this side of the pitch, with Zinchenko also pushing forward into the final third, making third man runs off the back of defenders to find his little bits of space in and around the box. We can see this exact type of run here with De Bruyne and Foden drawing the attention of the Real Madrid defenders, which created this pocket of space for Zinchenko to run into, allowing him to get in the box time and time again. With Cancelo suspended, some City fans may have been a little bit worried, but Zinchenko came into the team and done an excellent job both on and off the ball, and he really added to this Man City setup. On top of all this, City also carried a massive threat in transition as well, with City regularly winning their duels in the centre of the pitch before then bursting forward with real attacking intent and penetration. This is a prime example here with De Bruyne winning his duel in the centre of the park, which allowed City to get at the exposed Real Madrid defence and in some really dangerous areas, but they just lacked the finish. Despite others lacking the end product, De Bruyne was simply phenomenal in these transitioning situations, and his ability to stride forward through the centre of the pitch is an extremely underrated side of his game, and Guardiola obviously deserves credit for getting this out of him, whilst he also deserves an immense amount of credit for the way that he got this Manchester City side playing, because they were absolutely phenomenal for large periods, and I actually think that he will be extremely disappointed with the final result, because his team really dominated this match with their quality, and they didn't win by anywhere near the margin that they should have. So now it's time to look at the other side of the coin as Real Madrid looked to try and build possession in their own defensive third. However, they were faced by an extremely intense Manchester City press. We can see in both of these situations here that Manchester City were looking to press incredibly high up the pitch, and it made life extremely difficult for Real Madrid as they looked to play their way out through this press. This is an issue that Madrid have faced throughout the season in a few different games, and it happened again, with Madrid losing the ball time and time again in their own defensive third to the pressing Manchester City forwards. Madrid really struggled to find a solution to this particular problem, with Ancelotti never adapting to the issues his team had, and as a result, one of their only ways out of the press was to play direct into the wider areas. We can see the lack of passing options for Militao here, and he was left with pretty much no other option but to go long, and there were a couple of situations when Rodrigo was able to try and get at Zinchenko out wide. Personally, I was happy to see Rodrigo in the starting 11 after his recent performances, although I must say that Zinchenko done a really good job of defending him in these situations, and Rodrigo did struggle. Now, as would expect, there were also a few spells during the match where Madrid were able to take a bit more control of the game, with the three midfielders looking to drop deep to get on the ball in the centre. We can see roughly what I was talking about here with three players situated just in front of the centre backs, but we can see that City got themselves into quite a nice defensive shape to stop Madrid ever progressing the ball. This is one of the first knockout games this season where we never really saw players like Modric or Kroos having a spell of control on the game, however their deeper positioning did still have a positive impact. The positioning of the midfield three allowed the two fullbacks to occasionally push slightly higher up the pitch, something that Ferland Mendy in particular looked to do down the left before then playing the pass. Mendy got into these positions on a reasonably frequent basis, although there was only one situation where he really looked to put the ball in the box, and it led to yet another brilliant finish from Benzema into the far corner. Looking at the stats, you would assume that Mendy had an impressive attacking performance with 2 assists, but to be honest, it was actually the impressive work from the forwards that enabled him to do this. Of course, as always, it was Vinicius Jr. and Benzema that provided the magic in the final third of the pitch, with Benzema regularly dropping towards the left, whilst Vinicius looked to dribble inside. We can see Benzema cutting inside from this wide left position here, something he has done all season, although it was Vinicius that really came up with a big moment of magic as he carried the ball half the pitch before then scoring. I actually think that this goal was a great example of how Vinicius has improved this season. Last year I can imagine that he would have lost his cool after doing so well, but instead he kept his composure to finish emphatically past Ederson. As for Benzema, I don't even know where to start. This was an incredibly poor Real Madrid performance and the forwards were really starved of possession. Yet he still managed to grab 2 crucial goals, and the penalty in particular was just ridiculous. The composure to Panenka is insane, and I think that Ancelotti is a very lucky man because the pure ability of the players carried this tie. But yet again, in the big game, Ancelotti's tactics were not good enough, and as I said earlier, he never adapted to the problems. However, despite all of that, this tie is still very much alive thanks to the individual quality of these Real Madrid players. And it's for that exact reason that I think Guardiola will be disappointed with the final result, because his team executed his play to perfection from an attacking point of view. However, they wasted a few big opportunities and were never quite able to kill the game off, and we've seen time and time again this year, you have to finish Madrid off. But personally, I'm quite glad that they didn't, because it sets everything up perfectly for the second leg, which I will of course be covering on the channel, as well as the Liverpool vs Villarreal matches. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.